They told you reality is hard, fixed, and unchangeable. But Neville Goddard stood on stages and whispered that what you call reality is nothing more than imagination solidified into form. This is how it begins, because Neville declared that consciousness is the only reality, and everything else bends to its unseen power. This is where the curtain lifts, as he explained that the outer world is merely a reflection of the inner states you dwell upon most consistently. This is why it matters, since your secret assumptions about who you are quietly write the script of your life without you realizing it. This is the turning point. For Neville insisted that if you dare to persist in a new assumption, the world itself must rearrange to mirror it. This is how the illusion deepens, when you recognize that what seemed permanent was only the shadow of yesterday's thoughts and feelings. This is the shock of awakening, because the true creative act takes place not with effort, but with effortless inner conviction. This is how you test it, by entering into the feeling of already having what you desire, until the world outside can do nothing but yield to your invisible command. This is where the power reveals itself. As doors open, people appear, and opportunities align with your inner picture. This is why Neville said imagination is not daydreaming, but the one and only cause behind everything you experience. This is the moment of clarity, because if you can accept consciousness as reality, you will never again fear circumstances. This is the shift, since what once looked like obstacles now appear as malleable forms waiting to be reimagined. This is the unveiling, where you see that faith is not blind but the very substance that shapes tomorrow. This is how Neville shattered the old ideas, replacing them with the daring suggestion that man creates the future by assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled. This is the bold invitation to practice living in the end rather than waiting for the end to arrive. This is how the journey unfolds. Because once you've seen the connection between thought and form, you cannot return to ignorance. This is the inner revolution, when you understand that all power is within and none is outside. This is why Neville called the imagination Christ in you, the hope of glory. This is the moment of decision, where you choose to awaken or keep dreaming the old dream. This is where you stand now, asked to decide whether reality is fixed stone or living imagination. Can you imagine what your life would look like if you stopped reacting to the world and instead began commanding it from within? This is where it starts, because Neville Goddard urged his listeners to test the law of consciousness for themselves, rather than blindly accept his words. This is how the adventure begins,